Mafia Mundir, what's happening, bro? What's happening?
Yo, yo, yo! You're listening to Yes is a Two. I'm your host, Pri,
And this is Tarun.
and welcome to season two. Today, we discuss Roko and the women's team making history at Lord's.
Oh, yes, is it too?
You just had an international trip, I heard.
Yes.
कैसा था ट्रिप? ऑल इन ऑल मजेदार तो था, लेकिन जितना मेरे को
बहुत
समझ आया,
मजे बहुत मजे
आज रोहित
बहुत
शर्मा ने दिखा दिया। तू कह रही स्लो खेल रहा है ना, लास्ट तक उसने कवर कर लिया था।
खेल तो रहा था slow. I actually feel like it's fine. Like it's good. I think that he still has it in him, right? I think that if they aren't playing in this kind of culture where sword hanging over them all the time, it's obviously much better, easier to play. This is the kind of result you will get if every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, isko nikalo, aise karo, waise karo. Like if you're playing under that pressure of can I retain my spot, then you're not trying to figure out how to play. They all do in some aspects become measured, like when it comes down to उसे बनाना था आज because उसे दिखाना था तो because उसको ये करना था even in the start I think that they did lose because it was like a couple of those runs that they gave away early. Firstly, the bowling was like very bad in the chase. By the time Virat came in, it was like I don't think it's ever like too late for Virat to come in and do a chase, right? I think that he has shown over and over that he can do it. If you were looking at the partnership between Gill and Rohit, there were many points where Gill was calling for a second run, Rohit was not taking the second run. Fine. There were also moments where that run out had almost happened. That was also a on Rohit, not on Shubman type thing. But ठीक है, whatever. Like at the end of the day, like I have love for Rohit, I really do. I just also have other opinions. So it's like it is what it is, but he
But do you
really showed
think
up today, got his name on there in the middle of all this noise of like, should Rohit Sharma be ousted from the team? And his response to that was, I'm on the board.
it would be very unfair also अगर 2026 में आके हम बोलते हैं आप 27 नहीं खेल सकते, नहीं तो अगर आपको ये बोलना था तो आपको 23 में ही बोल देना था, तो बहुत ही अनफेयर हो जाएगा। अब रोहित शर्मा का पॉइंट भी ठीक है ना कि उसको खेलना है, उसको जीतना है, उसका 11 भी मिस हुआ है जो कोहली जीता हुआ है, तो कोहली के लिए इतना इंटरेस्टिंग भी नहीं है कि 27 जीतना है क्योंकि वो जीता हुआ है। बट रोहित इज गेटिंग एट द सेम लेवल एज सचिन, जिसको खींच खींच के लेके गए कि 11 में खिला लो खिला लो खिला लो और फिर जीत गए। और वैसे भी 26 इज टू क्लोज टू 27 टू से कि ये लास्ट है आपका, निकल लो।
सही बात है, बट आई थिंक बीच में सबका ईगो आ जाता है ना, ये पीछे हटेगा ना गंभीर पीछे हटेगा। बट दे विल हैव टू फाइंड अ वे, बिकॉज ऐसे तो 27 में रोहित को लेके जाओ या नहीं लेके जाओ, जीतने वाले तो हो नहीं।
40 भी हो जाएगा भाई, 40 थोड़ी ना इजी होता है कुछ भी करने के लिए। 38 पे लोग डाउट कर रहे हैं कोहली को, लेकिन वो 40 का होगा, दैट टू नॉट अ कोहली विच इज 40। तो
या
फिटनेस लेवल में बहुत डिफरेंस है।
that's what I think DK only said in the first. That I looked it up after that, but I heard him say it on the commentary in the first match that Rohit Sharma today, like when he plays, he's the oldest. I don't know Indian or oldest, but to play in an ODI, I was like, is that correct?
सचिन was, हाँ सचिन भी खेला है 37 आई थिंक, वी कैन चेक द स्टैट्स, बट मेरे को लगता है सचिन खेला है और भी। व्हाट वाज सचिन व्हेन ही प्लेड द 2011 वर्ल्ड कप, हाउ ओल्ड वाज ही?
He was 37 during the
ओह
2011 World Cup.
सॉरी, उससे भी
So
बड़ा हो गया।
yeah,
बट क्योंकि सचिन स्टार्टेड अर्ली देन ना, 16 पे
yeah.
स्टार्ट, तो इसलिए सचिन का लगता है हमेशा से था, 5 वर्ल्ड कप खेला है।
There becomes such a all or nothing attitude towards like you did well today, great, like you're good to go. You didn't do well today, get out. And it's like I don't really think that's how.
हाँ ठीक है, लेकिन रोहित का 27 तो देख रही है,
Hmm.
मतलब यू वुड वांट इट टू हैपन और यू वुड से दैट ही इज ब्लॉकिंग अ
ऐसा है,
पोजीशन।
आई थिंक वो बिना विराट को लिए नहीं हटेगा, सो इन दैट रिगार्ड खेले। like I just need an easy path for Virat Kohli to play in 27, and if that means that Rohit Sharma must
अच्छा,
come
तू
along,
डिफरेंट है।
then fine, whatever, like I'll
तो
take it.
तो बेसिकली अगर बोला जाए कि रोहित शर्मा हटेगा तो विराट कोहली साथ में बोल देगा कि मैं भी नहीं खेलूंगा, तो तू कहेगी कि रोहित को खिला दो।
Yes.
अच्छा, इंडिविजुअली तो अगर इंडिविजुअली हटे वो और कोहली खेले तो कौन जाएगा रोहित की जगह अकॉर्डिंग टू यू?
जायसवाल को
यशस्वी,
लेगा वापस, हाँ ठीक है।
लेफ्ट हैंड राइट हैंड भी हो जाएगा। शुभमन गिल की जगह भी ला सकते हैं उसको, ही कैन प्ले एट नंबर 3।
तो फिर
शुभमन शुड
आप,
ओपन।
I mean, Shubman does open though.
हाँ, तो मैं कह रहा हूँ कि यशस्वी को अभी भी ला सकते हो इन द करंट सेटअप,
हाँ,
ओपन विद रोहित,
and
वन
then
डाउन
where should
शुभमन,
Shubman go?
One down, number three.
So then who are you taking out?
So somebody from
So
the
who are you taking out then?
maybe Ayyar or Rahul, one of the two.
I don't think that we need to take Rahul out. I know that that is everyone's first sort of instinct is okay, ठीक है आके दिमाग खराब करके जा रहा है, whatever. But it's just, you know what? It's the same thing. Like if you ask people 3 weeks ago, everyone was like, oh my God, Ishan, Ishan. Last two matches say everyone's like, what business does Ishan have playing ODI? Out of form चल रहा है Ishan Kishan. I really like don't think that that's true.
हाँ, ईशान का तो मेरे को नहीं लगता कोई भी जगह जाने वाली है, क्योंकि वी नीड अ बैकअप कीपर एनीवे।
But also,
इवन
if you saw his keeping in the last match, it was very
इट वाज
good.
गुड। या या एग्रीड। तो मेरे को
So,
नहीं लगता, और ईशान इज द ओनली लेफ्ट हैंडर आई थिंक।
mm,
ऊपर के लोगों में सारे राइट हैंडर, तो लेफ्ट हैंडर भी चाहिए until you bring यशस्वी and then start seeing, बट आई थिंक ईशान तो जा ही रहा है, इवन एज अ, इफ नॉट इन 11 15 में तो जा ही रहा है।
हाँ, agreed. I think श्रेयस को निकाल सकते हो. I would keep Rahul. To be very honest with you, I would keep Rahul. I think, unfortunately, as we have seen within the IPL also, he gets into like that team environment thing does change things for him.
या
There are points where he has that sort of freedom and good support setup, etc., etc., and 9 times out of 10 he will deliver for you. And then there's other times where it's like too much either pressure or too much talk in the dressing room. He is not able to center himself, and
अब मुझे लगता है राहुल को थोड़ा टाइम लगता भी है टू जस्ट गेट इन द मूड एंड स्टार्ट परफॉर्मिंग, बट अय्यर कुड बी अ गुड ऑप्शन बिकॉज ही एनीवे T20 में तो है ही इज द
hmm,
कैप्टन। वनडे में ही कैन और कैन नॉट बी बेसिकली पार्ट ऑफ द वर्ल्ड कप स्क्वाड,
hmm,
डिपेंडिंग ऑन, मतलब 15 चाहिए तो हो सकता है एक बैकअप भी ले लो, राहुल नहीं तो अय्यर। बट 11 में तो फिर वही है ना, 11 के लिए मैं इसलिए कह रहा था कि यशस्वी आ जाए, बिकॉज लेफ्ट हैंडेड वी ओनली हैव वन, ईशान,
hmm,
जिसका अभी फिक्स नहीं है। मे बी ही गेट रिप्लेस्ड विद केएल राहुल और समथिंग लाइक
hmm.
दैट, थोड़ा कॉम बैलेंस नहीं बनता लेफ्ट राइट का। तो दैट वे यशस्वी इज नीडेड, और उसको अगर हम गेम टाइम भी नहीं देंगे तो फिर कहाँ से ले जाएंगे।
But ये तो सबके साथ हो रहा है, right? Like if you look at Virat playing also,
हम्म
Afghanistan series उसने नहीं खेला. So
हम्म
between the last ODI he played and the next time he played ODI or played in a match setting outside of T20 IPL, it's been a
बहुत
yeah.
हाँ
So then it takes time to regroup, resettle, whatever. He didn't last very long in that first match.
या
God is
फर्स्ट
bearish about him. ठीक है. But it's like very much a Surya Kumar Yadav line, but you could be doing everything right in practice, and it's just one day in a match, it's one ball, it's one shot. That doesn't necessarily indicate your level of readiness, whether you're on it or not. It's just it's one day, it's one innings. You cannot mark the player by the one innings. But then it's also like, I don't know, like I think it's my kind of gripe with Rohit is that, and I think it's like whatever, you're an opener, so it really is always going to be like a hit or miss situation. But his string is such that it's usually like on the back of a couple of misses when it comes down to by the skin of my teeth, I have to make sure that you people can't do this to me.
या आई थिंक वो इनसिक्योर तो है ही वो, कि तो उसके दिखता भी है बैटिंग में जैसे वो चलता है, ही इज इनसिक्योर। बट मतलब अगर निकालेंगे, बीसीसीआई तो कुछ भी कर सकती है, लेकिन मेरे हिसाब से अगर निकालेंगे भी अब जाके तो इट वुड बी वेरी अनफेयर ऑन हिम ऑल्सो। या तो 23 में ही बोल दो ना, अच्छा नहीं जीत पाए कोई बात नहीं, चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी जीत गए, चलो अब बस बस कर रहे हो। बट नाउ आप उसको 26 तक ले आए हो, अभी भी खिला रहे हो, और अब एकदम से बोल दो कि आप 27 नहीं खेल पाओगे, तो विच इज वियर्ड।
It is, but that's the thing. I think that that's a Gambhir problem.
हाँ मेरे को पता है, बीसीसीआई वो कर सकती है, बीसीसीआई जस्ट बिफोर द वर्ल्ड कप भी उसको ड्रॉप कर सकती है, कि वो
Hmm.
दैट इज पॉसिबल विद ऑल द डिस्कशंस, एंड दैट इज पॉसिबल, बट इट वुड लुक बैड, क्योंकि वो सेम बीसीसीआई उसके लिए
I
भी कर
think it
चुकी है।
already looks bad, man. Itta pura hafta, this all this talk does not look good. That then they have to come out and give a clarification does not look good. In the commentary the whole time, that's what they're sitting there talking about. That doesn't look good. You see, even like every time he does well and he's standing there with Virat Kohli turns around and looks back at the dressing room, and there's no questions about who is he looking at and why is he looking at them. We know what it's about. And we've been in this setup before, right? Like if we talk about the last time Kohli was in a dressing room with a coach that wasn't vibing with him.
या कुंबले
So
कुंबले दिमाग में आता
yeah,
है ना.
this is like essential, important stuff. And Gambhir is not delivering just generally in this moment. Like, what has he really held his own on and delivered back in terms of dividend? Nothing.
आयरलैंड से हार गए भाई. बाकी छोड़ो, हम कहते थे गंभीर टी20 तो अच्छा करता है,
हाँ.
लगता नहीं है, लेकिन वो आयरलैंड से हार गए हैं.
And
तो
but that's the thing, like तुम पूरा 3 महीने 4 महीने चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी भी ले लो, the kinds of pitches we curate, it's unfortunate news to them, but the rest of the world does not play on those pitches. So
ये
if you can sit on a road basically and give a 300 plus showing, it doesn't mean anything when you come back out and there's bounce in the pitch and it's a little rough and you get fucked by Ireland.
ये
That should tell you, gotta go back to the drawing board, gotta figure it out, gotta something.
करेक्ट. और गंभीर के पास हमेशा एक ही एक्सक्यूज है, द टीम इज डेवलपिंग. अरे भाई
Which
कब
he
तक.
used to say before when people would say that that's not an excuse. What is that? Like, even though it's true, I think in certain situations it's true. I actually think it's the least applicable in a T20 setup. But I also think, like, if you take Gambhir as a coach with the history and with what he has displayed thus far, that's already strike one for this T20 team. And also, allegedly looking at the second half of Shreyas Iyer in the IPL being a captain for Punjab and how that went. That's strike two for the structured setup of this T20 team. I think it's a little crazy to me Shubman Gill is sitting out of the T20 side. That being said, whatever, there's like a million in line for the T20 side because apparently that's all the cricket that they know how to play. I think whether or not you are a supporter of Shubman Gill, he will show up and show you this is why I'm Shubman Gill and this is why I'm the captain. This is why I should be the three format captain. This is why I play. I know what I'm doing. I play well. And he does
ये
play well. He plays very well. He plays his own play, captaincy aside, his own play is like classical, foundationally strong, has all the pieces. Maybe not all the time is he doing proactive captaincy, but I do think that he is a strong leader in terms of like understanding his teammates and keeping his team in high spirits, keeping his team together, like using the input from the people as it comes and giving especially his bowlers a lot of grace and autonomy in terms of figuring out how they want to set up the field.
But do you think Shubman Gill listens to what Gambhir says like Surya used to?
No, and I think that's why he's not the T20 captain.
But why is he in the ODI and test? Because he might, मतलब कोच तो सेम ही है ना हमारा, वो
Coach
कोच
the
अलग
same,
होता
but I think when you take him out of the T20, there are certain like I think Gambhir does it because of whatever we're discussing, but I think even when he like puts forward that this is what I want or this is what has to happen, it's not like he can go in front of BCCI and say Ajit Agarkar, hey, like this man doesn't listen to me, get rid of him. Like he has to come up with some XYZ points or whatever. I don't know what you can say to like who are you gonna make a captain in your test team? If not Shubman, when especially you look at like Jasprit is getting injured every other whatever. So that's out.
है.
You have Rahul, which is going to be the same problem. Rahul is not going to listen to you the way that Shubman's not listening to you. So you might as well stick with Shubman because at some point also the BCCI has to understand कि कैप्टेंसी के साथ इतना तुम खेल नहीं सकते because कोच 4 साल में कोच का टेन्योर खत्म होगा. कैप्टन का टेन्योर ऐसा नहीं है कि 4 साल के बाद तुम कैप्टन नहीं रह सकते. कैप्टन you can stay captain if you are playing well, if your team is responding to you, and you are honest to God at this point within the broader Indian team, the greats or the stalwarts of the last 10 years, 15 years are on their way out.
Yeah,
So you're going to need somebody to build a team around. You're going to need somebody to build a brand around, whether or not Gambhir likes that part of the equation. But it is true. Who's going to do your ad revenue? Who's going to be your ticket drawing player?
that वो सब
शुभमन
भी
गिल को तुम कैसे निकालोगे? शुभमन गिल is probably one of the only ones outside of, and again, this is why there's no use crying over spilled milk. It's done. But this is, for me, my biggest gripe with Rohit is this, that after Kohli left the captaincy, that tier of them, that bracket of them, or that group of them, we were supposed to not move on from them as players, but we were supposed to move on from them in leadership. While Virat Kohli was captain, he had groomed a handful of these guys. You can take your pick, and he honestly could have done it if you wanted to split up the format captains. KL Rahul could be your Test captain, Shreyas Iyer could be your ODI captain, and Hardik Pandya would be your T20 captain. That's what was supposed to happen. But I think Rohit Sharma again wanted his due, which is a very human instinct that I understand, but I just don't think it's fair to be that kind of person to do those kinds of things. And then also when he was captain, his entire like slogan shtick in the team was like, "Oh, we play with intent, we play selflessly." But you're not a selfless player. You're not. You care about your stats, you care about your position, you care about what you perceive as wanting your due. You're not just here for the love of the game to like be a team and go forward as a team. That's okay, but then we should like admit that. I think that he's nice to his team when he is nice to his team. I don't think he is like firepower standing behind them all the time 24/7. Like I think he's fun, but I just don't get this like big brother best to ever do it. Like I just don't get it. What frustrates me is like I can see and I know that Virat Kohli does not care about being clubbed with him. Like he's happy to do it. But I find it really frustrating because to me they have always been leagues apart as players and will be.
Yeah.
Like I don't think that Roko is any sort of anything.
हाँ, लेवल अलग अलग है, लेकिन अब ठीक है, अब एक ही बन गए हैं तो फिर टेस्ट में भी एक तरफ निकले हैं, T20 में एक तरफ निकले हैं, तो
वही
आई गेस ओडीआई में भी एक जैसे ही निकलेंगे, बट या तो पूरी कोशिश
प्रॉब्लम।
मेरी वजह से रोहित शर्मा भी चले जाएगा। ठीक है, एक ही साल बचा है, देखते हैं क्या होता है, कर तो कुछ भी सकते हैं खैर, लेकिन आई एम ओके बोथ वेज एक्चुअली, दोनों खेलें और रोहित को बस लेके चल जाए कि ठीक है 10 लोग खेलेंगे, बस एक 11वां चाहिए हमको, इसलिए लेके जा रहे हैं, वो भी ठीक है।
I agree. I think at this point to get rid of him, it would be unfair. But I also think that then to like hold it over his head all the time is like it's not helpful for his mental also. It's not helpful for the team's overall vibe
वो
also.
ऐसे हमने बहुत प्लेयरों के साथ किया है, बट रोहित
Yeah.
उनकी लीग में कहीं नहीं आता है। रोहित स्टिल परफॉर्मिंग, अभी
Yeah.
आज ही बनाया है। पर हम सचिन को भी बहुत देर तक लेके गए थे, राहुल द्रविड़ को लेके गए थे, गांगुली को हमने निकाल के वापस लिया, उसके साथ का खेल हुआ। तो आई गेस रोहित उस लेवल पे तो नहीं जा रहा है अभी, रोहित उससे तो बहुत ऊपर है, एज लॉन्ग एज देयर इज स्टिल 12 मंथ्स और 14 मंथ्स टू गो।
Mm.
बट अभी तो वो काफी ऊपर है उन सबसे, तो अभी तो निकलना नहीं बनता है।
Mm.
मतलब as long as he is not performing in say 5 continuous matches, then वो उस लेवल पे आएगा कि अब इसको लेके चलना है कि नहीं लेके चलना। अभी तो वो चल रहा है,
Mm.
अभी तो बल्कि उसने कोहली से ज्यादा रन बनाया अगर सीरीज देखोगे तो, बिकॉज
वही वही
ऑफ
वही तो वही तो
तो अगर निकलना हो तो कोहली निकले पहले।
That's the thing, and I feel like that's what I find so crazy when people are like, "Oh yeah, Kohli cares so much." Kohli doesn't give a single flying fuck about his stats. He never has, and that is the issue. You could also play like that. You could also be like, "नहीं, मेरे को अपनी century बनानी है, मैं अपनी century बना के छोड़ूंगा." ये बंदा नहीं खेलता ऐसे. If you look at today, great. I'm very happy to see them bat together. Wow, one of the last times on the English shore, Rohit and Kohli batting together. Wow. But it was the same in that he needs the singles. He needs the singles and the doubles to be able to set himself up to quietly take the fours, right? He's not a big six hitter, Virat Kohli, and he doesn't just deal exclusively in boundaries. His quick doubles, his quick singles add up, add up, add up to the point where then he can like convert and do the math to be like, okay, a couple of boundaries flurried here in this corner like this, and then we keep the pace going.
Yeah,
If a player on the other side is able to adapt to those things, then you see also the boundaries come with a quickness and a looseness
yeah, वो नहीं
because
हो
he's
पाया।
not building that pressure of like, I'm not taking singles, I'm not taking doubles.
Yeah,
I just don't think that they're formatted to play together that way because Rohit cannot run those
yeah,
doubles.
एग्रीड, यस, वो तो डिफरेंस है, आज भी दिख रहा था वो कि
Yeah.
we were playing together, लेकिन काफी सिंगल्स नहीं लिए जा रहे थे। अब वो उसका भी है, रोहित इतना भागने वाला है नहीं, रोहित इज एन ओपनर, वो पीटने वाला है।
हाँ तो बट वो भी दिखता है ना like you can tell when he was about to get out that frustration was coming कि मेरी boundary नहीं आई है boundary नहीं आई है so then he just kind of starts whacking and it's like okay you got the one you missed the second one because again you kind of overstepped and messed your shape but they knew to get you to that point to play to that angle. And before Shubman got out, I really was feeling like there were a good 20 runs towards the end of that Rohit and Shubman partnership, where to me it was just kind of like, look, if Rohit retires out hurt now or Rohit gets out now, this is the time that you need to get Virat Kohli in to start doing that chase calculation because the number is very big.
हाँ आज आई थिंक लास्ट 5 ओवर्स में भी मैच काफी बदल गया, जो बॉलिंग करी हमने
Yeah.
उसमें। अगर हम थोड़े भी बचा, आई थिंक ये वो कौन बॉलर है जो बहुत ही लेग साइड में बॉल किया, प्रिंस यादव है या बरार है, वन ऑफ द टू। इतनी पुअर बॉलिंग करी है उसने कि लेग साइड पे ही डालता गया और वहां चौके खाता गया।
प्रिंस यादव की शेप आज बहुत वो थी, लाइक इट वाजंट
97 रन,
एनीथिंग।
उसने भी 97 रन खाए हैं, बरार ने भी।
हाँ।
प्रिंस यादव ने तो फिर कम खाए हैं, लेकिन दोनों मिलके ने बुमराह की मिसिंग वो थी। अगर बुमराह होता तो रन बचते और फिर
अगर सिराज होता
सिराज तो
तो ये
खैर अलग
नौबत
है।
नहीं आती।
सिराज कहाँ है आजकल, इंजर्ड है।
No, they're resting him for workload.
अब आगे खेलेगा वो श्रीलंका के साथ।
Also, like Kuldeep didn't play a single match. I'm like, what is wrong with you people? With the
टीम को
fact
समझ
that
आ गया, स्पिनर्स की बॉलिंग करानी है, वो करा रहे हैं, विल जैक्स को लेके आ रहे हैं, आदिल रशीद को करा रहे हैं,
तुम
बेथल को
क्या
करा रहे
कर
हैं।
रहे हो?
हम लोगों को
सैम
समझ नहीं आ
करन एंड जेकब बेथल, ओके? एक तो मेरा बेथल, रुक जा 10 मिनट तो रुक जा।
क्रेजी था वो, पर ठीक है अब तो हार चुके हैं, हारने की आदत भी हो गई है। अब इनको जिम्बाब्वे जाके जीतना ही पड़ेगा कुछ। सूर्यवंशी के साथ भी हमने आयरलैंड में फालतू में इधर उधर करके संजू को निकाल रहे हैं, फिर संजू को वापस ला रहे हैं, पता नहीं क्या क्या हो रहा है, कितनी वो हो रही है शफलिंग, बहुत
But
ज्यादा ही।
but on the women's side also is like a very similar kind of shuffle if we really are gonna get into it. Like, I don't know if you read Smithy's interview that she did in the Times. It was like a quick interview, but which we also have to talk about that if briefly, if not anything else. Women playing their first test match at Lord's and winning, okay,
विनिंग।
after a showing where I'll be honest with you, I was there the first day and I think we lost the toss and were asked to bat.
हम्म।
And that concerned me. I was a little bit like, oh, I don't know how long we will hold our own in this innings. And they held the whole day. Very good to see. Getting, I had a good feeling about it. Kranti took her five the next day. That was crazy. Yastika made her runs the day after. And after they won, Smriti did an interview in which, for the first time, someone asked her, it's not the first time someone asked her, but it's the first time she answered, are you prepared to be the captain? And she said, yes, when I am asked, I am ready.
सही है।
And because it is time, it is time after a certain point to be like, hey, we gotta move on. We gotta get someone in there who like wants to make changes, who wants to try new things, who wants to trust. Like we're taking and she said this, like we take a lot of debutantes places and then we don't utilize them or we don't try to
हम्म।
understand how they should work in the setup. There's a lot of like talent coming out of WPL in India that we don't know how to work with and we don't know how to use it. And I think that that is what our problem is. And I was like, good for you, girl. Good for you. Good for you to say it. Good for you to stand on it. And I think it's about time. Yeah, sure, there's like dramatics involved in it or whatever. And Mithali Raj also then afterwards was like, I think it's time for Smriti Mandhana to be the ODI captain and the test captain. And maybe you go someone younger for the T20. You could try Shafali Verma as captain, which fair enough. Such is the time. Like you have to. And the thing is, no one is talking about removing you, right?
या
Just after a certain point, it has to be the team thing. Like again, like I have a lot of love for Harman. I think that she has been an icon in the times of truly trying to turn the tide for women's cricket in India, just as the same with Mitali before her. And I do think that it's a very human instinct to, honestly, even more than the men's cricket, the women's cricket is a slog in terms of getting past your board, in terms of getting people in the country to care about you, in terms of having
या
the resources to do anything. So similarly for Mitali, I think it was like when it starts paying off, why would you kick me out at that time? And for someone so young like Harman, I'm sure that was a kick in the teeth too, to be like, we've moved on from you, and so she carried that for a long time. But similarly with Harman, like you had your time, you had your due, you put in so much work and you received such a return on it. Maybe not exactly all the way to the mark that you wanted, but now you're getting there. And then you have to recognize that at a certain point, what you are doing or what you can do is holding them back only. Like you need to release it to let it grow forward, right? Like how long is Smriti Mandhana going to wait and be your vice
Sure.
captain. I feel like by the time Smriti is given the captaincy, people will start asking questions about how long can Smriti Mandhana be the captain. And
Yeah.
I think that that's super unfair too. And in that way, I think that Harman and Rohit are very comparable to me. It's not about their own individual skill, they have it.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the
Task winning.
leadership quality of giving yourself over for the team and being able to transition and see the next person blossom, that's really hard for them because they feel individually they haven't been given their due and that they are insecure about certain things.
तो अगर इन दोनों को रैंक करेगी तो किसको ऊपर रखेगी? Who does feel that more?
Who feels
That
more insecure?
yes, among these two.
I don't know. That's a good question. What do you think?
मुझे लगता है हरमन.
Is more insecure?
I feel that Harman is overshadowing everybody else, I guess.
I think, yes, I would agree, only because I don't know if you saw that video that they just put out recently about like winning at Lords. How did
नहीं
you make
मैंने
a
नहीं.
2.5 minute video? Okay, उसमें यास्तिका का एक बारी नाम नहीं लिया तुमने. I also think like the way that she got her captaincy was also kind of snaky if we're gonna be really
हाँ
honest about
वैसे.
it all. So it's like,
बट आई थिंक दूसरी यहाँ पे वो टीम अच्छी खेली लॉर्ड्स में, सो दैट वाज द गुड पार्ट, बट मेंस आर गोइंग इन द रॉन्ग डायरेक्शन,
mhm.
totally wrong direction in every format. They are going the downhill.
And well, who's the one common denominator in all those things? Our coach Sahab.
यही तो गड़बड़ है गंभीर साहब के साथ. बस अब वो
He's not
लेकिन रहेंगे तो है.
Yeah, he's not gonna go, and he's certainly not gonna go before Virat and Rohit go. So जब तक कोहली को देखोगे तब तक गंभीर पीछे दिखेगा तुम्हें.
आज कुछ तो बड़े हुए गंभीर, देखा मैंने रोहित शर्मा की 100 पे. मैंने कहा अरे शॉकिंग है, खुश हो रहा है.
It actually was kind of stressful, you know. I feel like every time they panned to the boxes, there were so many celebs sitting there. I was like, guys, do you all also think that this is his last hurrah? Like, is that why we're all sitting here?
लॉर्ड्स में क्यों लास्ट लेगा? अगर वो लेगा कहीं तो मुंबई में लेगा अपना लास्ट. लॉर्ड्स में आके वो कहेगा होम ऑफ क्रिकेट. रोहित शर्मा वो लेवल पे है क्या जिससे लगता है कि मैं लॉर्ड्स में अपना लास्ट
उसे
उठेगा?
लगता है ना.